Bueno, y aquí estamos, Miguel. One more edition of the Bienvenidos Venezolanos
Bienvenidos
podcast with Gladgrade, the merger, the beautiful merger that we've done. So much content, so much good content. People are happy. They're commenting. They're watching the videos. Everything that we've been talking about. The people that we've had as guests.
Yep.
So today I decided to take a little bit of a different perspective. Okay, so it's been brought to my attention that this isn't easy what you're doing. That it's not. You woke up one day and the next day you had the app ready, everything developed, the sacrifice of the work. So I don't want to touch your heartstrings. I don't want you crying for the camera, but basically I want to focus on first over the top. Put us up to date. What's going on with Gladgrade today? Because I know we've had some updates in the last couple of weeks where the government work is starting to flourish. What's going on with Gladgrade today?
So we've been working, by we, I, been working,
Me, myself, and I.
and I've been working on implementing onto the website, www.gladgrade.com, a search for companies that are part or it's just one of the top 1,000 or the Fortune 5,000 companies in the United States. So when the user goes to the website, searches for Publix near me or Publix near Doral, they would get the list of all the Publix and able to see the detail of that one page, including reviews or gradings, and then continue on to grading, which is going to open the app. So I'm working on that particular or that specific feature, that it is not a mobile app feature. The mobile app will be opened from that page. But it isn't part of the app itself. So that's what I have been focusing in the last few weeks, and then alongside with that is the government services grading, which is now part of the mobile app, and it's going to be a huge aspect of it. And we've talked about this. It is meant to allow constituents and voters overall to grade how their local government, county, state, or federal, either elected official or an agency or department, grade how well they're doing. And I'm hoping to have that already completed and published by either the end of Q1 or early part of Q2. So I'm working on that, and I'm assigning all the energy I can.
So this is circling back to the conversation we had when we had Angelica here in the podcast. Angelica, as you guys know, she's the chief of staff of Rafael Pineiro in the city of Doral. And basically, the government aspect is that direct communication between the mayor and the councilmen and councilwomen with the constituents of any given city, or we can go bigger, the constituents of Florida with the state of Florida, or the constituents of the United States with the government of the United States. So, it's another line of communication, more direct, more feedback.
Yep. So again, we're consumers of government services, regardless of what they are. We're part of the government clients. They're providing the roads, they're providing the garbage removal process,
permitting,
everything, right? That they're there for. And as such, we have the right to grade how well or bad they're doing, but it's not enough if those entities are not made aware that information exists. So when consumers, or in this case constituents, provide this information, we package everything nicely and categorize in different ways and provide that information to these elected officials or administrative staff that work for the elected officials of the city, state.
Yeah,
county,
having
whatever.
that direct line.
And then they can work if they can have how people are feeling in terms of how well they're doing or how bad they're doing, and maybe they provide suggestions, right? And that's something that it's another aspect that this application has for these other clients or entities. In this case, is the government. Have the people voice what they actually think, and that's what Gladgrade is in the end. Is for the consumer, is a tool so their voice can be heard the way it is meant to be heard, right?
Okay.
Not manipulated in the back end with some sort of agenda. This is
Communication
Gladgrade,
free of
right,
bias,
free of
you could
everything.
say.
Exactly. The consumer is always, the client is always right, right? Client is always right, and that's what Gladgrade is. It's having those consumers, clients, constituents, be given the voice and the platform to voice their concerns or praises to the services. That's
Yeah.
it, right?
Also, I believe adding to that, it adds the business owner or the government official
Exactly.
a real perspective of how their office is or how everything is working within their organizational system. I actually have an anecdote about this because last year in June or July, I actually had to do a huge deal with the Broward property tax official. I think his name is Marty Kiar or something like this, where through mismanagement of a management company, some properties had fallen behind on taxes for the last 2-3 years, and I mean it was a big amount. I'm talking about like in the $75,000 range that we had to pay or that was back owed property taxes. Hence why no property taxes. I agree, but. The whole office was in the process of changing from one side to the next. The payment, like the whole office in the Broward County system was all off inside. However, and this is why I say this is a good anecdote, is because even though they had a mess going on in that office, they had people switching from one side of the building to the other. The entrance was blocked. They were constructing some things in the administrative side. I was able to find everything I needed. I was able to be helped in a very good way by Broward County Property, that office. And I just wanted, like, if that would have been a service that I could have done to tell them how good the service was despite the obvious defects of the whole situation, that would have been nice. So I agree with all that. Yeah. That it's necessary and it's nice to be able to say the good things and the bad things,
Yeah. If you do not provide feedback, good feedback, they don't know if they're doing well. And if you do not provide bad feedback, they don't know what needs to be fixed. Well, maybe they do, but they don't see the urgency to fix it, right? So with the platform, Gladgrade as a platform that is free of use for everyone, they would have that constant capability of voice whatever you think, right? And have them make the decision and how to fix it. And if you're praising, that's great. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
There's so many things. Let me give you an example. And can you say, yes, there are ways to complain. Yes, I can go to the city and complain to the mayor of the city of Miami that the streets are almost as bad as New York City streets, full of potholes, and it's inconceivable how we have let the city gotten to that stage. It's horrible to drive in Miami.
Miami-Dade County.
Miami, especially the city of Miami.
Okay.
So think downtown, Wynwood, all that area and west of Wynwood. It is horrible. It brings me back to my days in Jersey and New York City. It is horrible. I mean, the car, and my car is not bad, but it's a constant shaking and sound. Are you kidding me? This shouldn't be. And I understand there are construction projects every other block. You have a construction a project going on. They're, doing something on the road. But come on, patch it well. Do a better job. You can tell that many of these streets have not seen asphalt in decades. It's not right at the very best. It's not right. So where do we go and complain? Where do we go and tell them, hey, this has to change. Focus here.
Maybe the city doesn't even know that the constituents have a problem with it.
I don't know. But
so this would provide.
I am telling you, and that the people that have to drive for a living, aka the taxi driver or the Uber Lyft driver, it destroys the cars. It destroys them. It's unbearable. So and that's just an example. The same thing with the police, the way certain aspects are dealt. For example, at the airport, the drivers for Uber and Lyft, they're harassed. I have no other word to say it. They are harassed by the airport authority in conjunction with the law body. So the Miami-Dade Police Department or the police of the city of Miami doesn't get involved there, but sometimes the state trooper. So state trooper, county police, they work in conjunction to harass Uber drivers or Lyft. That is not right. That is not right at all. And it's too much. There's a lot to focus and fix. And I don't know, or in fact, I know that we don't have the proper channels to make these entities be aware how discontent we are as constituents.
Well, we live in a severely automated world. We are basically striving and moving forward towards artificial intelligence and all this. So something like Gladgrade is a service that could help the process, because if you have constant monitoring of the Gladgrade score of certain aspects of the city, call it, let's say, traffic, transportation, what you said about the sinkholes, potholes, whatever. Yeah. Then you would be able to assess how many people are complaining about something and make a decision on the governmental side, or being the government, on the things that the people are valued more to fix. Yeah, so I think that could be a good...
It's that's the hope, right? That when people are able to voice their opinion, and we make these government entities, hey, this exists with all this data, do something, because come next election cycle, these people are going to remember that this is now recorded. It's now here. Let's work.
Okay.
Right? And so, again, Gladgrade exists to make things better. It's
simple.
That's the
company mantra.
Yes, it's we want to bring back common sense, put the consumer at the center stage, where we rightfully belong, at the center stage, and be given importance to what we believe. And when it comes to a business, or when it comes to an institution like the government or a school, if you were to talk about a higher education module, we are the consumers. We deserve a much better treatment than what we are getting right now.
I'm gonna segue into this. This is you 24 months ago. You were living your life normal, doing what you have to do to provide for your family. What prompts this? What goes, you know what? I need to affect change
Yeah.
around me, with me, through me, and you decide I'm gonna build all this by myself and see what happens.
So it's an interesting story. So November of 23, I was working for a Texas-based company, and the department that I was part of pretty much was dismantled. Okay, so there were massive layoffs. I was one of the impacted, so me and everyone under me literally were without job from 1 minute to the next. Okay, it is what it is. It's part of the system. I realized that I'm no longer 20 years old. I'm not 25, and although I have created other very useful application and impacted industries in my previous lives professionally, I wanted to do something really for me, right? That I created from the ground up. And after weeks of meditation and very focused thinking, I had this download of what more than impacting everyone around you in what every day is being used, which is businesses and services and government. All right. So I started looking and this quasi market research. So what exists out there? And I said, okay, so you have applications or platforms like Google Reviews, you got Yelp, you got TripAdvisor. So you have a bunch that simply intake, right? They're fed these reviews from consumers, and it stops there, right? Okay, it's good. Something that there is that one way of data coming in, but nothing is happening. Throughout the latter part of my professional life, let's say in the last 6 years, I kind of morphed into the cybersecurity and risks, incidents aspects, and I learned logics and methods to mitigate problems when they arise, and then plan for things not to occur in the future. And I said, okay, so this is exactly what is missing from these platforms. Yes, you are hearing the problems, but they die there. The problems are repeated because at best, if they're mitigated with that one person, not necessarily creating a long-term solution. And then I started thinking about a structure to make sure that when an issue occurs, we create and present the owner of the issue. Hey, this is how your issue is categorized. These are the possible solutions at a long term. And by the way, this is who can implement these solutions. When you do this, it's highly likely that this is not going to repeat again, because now you have a consistent methodology in place that is not going to let the source of the problem to occur. That's it. You killed it, right? That particular issue will not repeat again. If one consumer or 100 experience that bad service, that's it. This is the last one that experienced it. So, in from a macro level, you will not be able to fix what happened, but definitely going forward, overall customer service will be improved drastically, and that is exactly what I am aiming to do. So that's the realization that I arrived 2 years ago, when I started thinking for many weeks, how can I do this? Because all I can do is complain. Okay, but complaining doesn't do anything. Something has to happen after that, and that after is what I am implementing little by little. and letting the owners of that task to complete.
Okay, so end of 2023,
Yeah.
end of 2020, the beginning of 2024,
Yeah.
and the layoffs happen in your company,
Yeah.
and you go, okay, so I have a problem, I have a solution that I think is gonna
Yes.
work,
Yes.
and then what? You're still like, I'm gonna build it now?
So no, it took a while to put all these ideas that were all the organized in my mind. I drew. I my God, I lost count of how many notebooks of notes and different structures and graphs and and writings I had. So I was going notebook after notebook, at least three of notes and things that I needed to have, and this connects to this other item, and let's expand this, because I am a firm believer, and I learned this in one of these companies, that a small step or many small steps, you reach a larger accomplishment, right? So you don't try to fix everything in one exercise. You fix little by little, and that's what I started to do. So the first part of the exercise was to attempt to bring in potential investors, right, on my side, and see if people wanted to invest. But unfortunately, that has not materialized, and I had to. By May, I realized, okay, this is way too long, and I have to start coding myself. Luckily, I have experience in that, and that's how I started my professional career. And I had already designed all the data structure. I had already selected the languages that I was going to, the language packs that I was going to use for the application, for the web app, for everything. And I started doing it myself. That started happening in May of 24. And by March, I had already run out of all my savings. All of them. That's it. 0 cents. And obviously, it was a super bad time in the economy. This is now, the Q1 started off Q2 of 2024. The economy was not good. No job. I applied. To this day, I probably have applied over 1,300 applications. I have sent over 1,300 applications. Not one callback. So whatever system is happening, it's going on. It's not working. And this is something that I found. It's not me. It's not the way my resume was written. It's not my experience. I have almost 30 years of experience. It's not me. It's whatever's happening. So again, it's another not trustworthy aspect of the system. Again, not a problem. I have my plan. This is going to work. Gladgrade. I continue to apply just in case, but my focus was developing Gladgrade from the ground up, and I had to live off of something that had no more income, and I started driving for one of these share ride companies, Uber, Lyft, and the others. So that's how I have put bread on my table, not butter, just the bread. They don't pay enough for the butter, so just the bread. And since May 2024 till October 30th, that's how many months it took, I had my first version 1, and I published it October 31st of 24. very basic mobile app. It went up, and by end of November, I optimized a few things. I published another application, and ever since I've published a few tweaks just to optimize the application. I had a change in the look and feel of the app, adding obviously
So you're
other.
driving
Oh yeah.
to put food in the table, bread, like you said.
Yes.
And then during the day, you're coding.
So I'm driving and coding.
What do you mean
So
driving and coding?
when I when I drive, I have the laptop open. It's connected using my phone's internet. So, and I have another phone for the trips, right? So I have the laptop on this the passenger front seat. When I get to a traffic light, get the laptop. Then again, I have seconds to go back. Okay, where did I leave? And okay, I type whatever, the next line of code. Put it down. It's green. Continue. And just like that. Whenever I have an extra 10 seconds, I work. If I'm at the airport, for example, and I'm luckily
Waiting.
allowed in the lot, I open the laptop, continue to work until a trip comes in, put it, continue to
Wow.
to drive. I get home just at around between 1:30 or 2 every day. I get home, heat up the plate of food that my wife leaves, heat it up, put it on the table, open the laptop again. Where did I leave? Here. Eat and continue working. That typically happens until 5:30, sometimes 6. If I'm really into something that I'm testing
If
back
you're
and
wired.
forth. Yes, I see the sun come up. So 7. Then okay, enough, because I have to work in hours. Close by 11. I'm up again. Open the laptop, have breakfast. While I work, I finish breakfast. Continue to work all the way to
Wow.
2:30. My wife, lunch is ready. Okay, good. Thank you. And as you can understand,
And this has been going on for how long?
this is almost 2 years.
Well, that explains why the app looks great.
That
the back office,
the
that's
bags, the gray hair.
well. I mean, but at least look, you have hair. I'm losing mine. So I mean, but that
a
is
lot of hair too.
well, that story is incredible, and I'm sure it's gonna relate to a lot of founders out there that are seeing that that's what it takes.
I cannot think that this is strange to entrepreneurship. I cannot see how, because money doesn't come from, definitely does not grow on trees, and it doesn't come from comes down from the sky. So you have to work yourself. The fact that one loses hope, that definitely comes to mind, but you have to be stronger than that evil thought. You're not gonna make it. This is not good enough. Make sure you never stop looking for another job. So all those thoughts come in constantly, but then I say, but what have I done all this time? It's I know that I know in the deepest part of me that this is needed, that no one else is doing it, and why am I going to fail? There is no way. So I was asked the other day by my sister-in-law, what's your plan B? Plan B? There's no plan B. Are you kidding me? This is plan A, and plan A will work. I have no plan B. It's really that simple.
Power of will, as it goes.
It's the power of whatever you want to call it. There is no plan B. This will work, and the alternative to this will work is that this will work.
I love it. Okay. I love it. Well, Miguel, thank you for sharing. This has been awesome. And again, we're in the third one now. We need to keep doing this every week. I love it. It's always enjoyable.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.